when I showed up at the medical supply store, okay, with my prescription, I was first greeted by a very enthusiastic and professional salesperson. And wow, what a ride. Hey Royalty Lifestyle fam, welcome to another video. Welcome to the Royalty Lifestyle official YouTube channel. My name is Royal and I'm your host. In this channel, we generally talk about money, finance, business, sales, and really anything and everything that has to do with success and self-improvement. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is because I recently went through a pretty intriguing and interesting sales experience to be specific. And quite frankly, I've been out of touch with social media for a few months now, and it appears that I've missed out on a lot. And so there are many content and many things that I need to cover eventually, but I'm now slowly coming back into the game. And just to kind of give you a little backstory real quick before we dive in and to set the tone to what I want to talk about, is that I recently injured my leg. Okay, I dislocated my right knee, and with that, when I fell, it somehow caused me to break my ankle also. I'm supposed to be bed resting for the next 30 days as per my doctor's recommendations. And when I last went for my x-rays and scans done and whatnot, my orthopedic doctor prescribed some medical equipments like a knee brace and a cast. And unfortunately, they didn't offer those equipments at the hospital itself. So I kind of had to go pick them up from an external clinic or a specialized store where they sell these medical supplies and equipments. And wow, what a ride. And ultimately, this experience has inspired me and led me to make this video. And I thought it would be valuable for me to share with you so you could learn some of the tips and tricks on what not to do. Now, what I want to talk about today are a few things. Number one, overselling. Number two, upselling. And number three, the red flags you should watch out for. Now, through my rant, they may not all be in that exact order, but you'll get the gist of it. Now, to start, I'm from a province called Quebec in Canada. And as most of you already probably know, in Canada, we have pretty much free healthcare. And in Quebec, it's called RAMQ. Now, luckily, I also have private insurance as well, but just in case something goes south, we can always fall back and rely on our healthcare, which is another topic that we won't really talk about today, because in reality, it sounds better than it really is, but nevertheless, we do have free healthcare. Let's dive into what happened. First thing first, let me start off by saying that when I showed up at the medical supply store, okay, with my prescription, I was first greeted by a very enthusiastic and professional salesperson. Very friendly, of course. And when I handed over my prescription paper, and I'm assuming what I'm about to tell you, this sales agent's first reaction or instinct to say what he said is probably because, and obviously because they did not carry that particular model or brand that my doctor has prescribed. Nevertheless, still a red flag in my opinion, and you let me know in the comment if I'm overthinking it or not, okay? But the red flag that I've noticed is that when he took a look at that prescription paper, okay, he said something along the lines of, these doctors nowadays, they're not up to date with industry trends and standards. They don't even know what these clinics and stores carry. We don't have these equipments. I mean, what is this supposed to mean? To me, automatically, that was a red flag right off the bat. Just because doctors, especially orthopedic doctors, okay, they work with patients day in, day out, right? I mean, they have to be up to date and up to speed with whatever product or equipments they recommend to their patients, okay? Now, again, I'm assuming he didn't carry the product that my doctor has recommended, but he still wanted to make that sell. And in my head, I'm like, okay, we're about to hear a pitch. Here we go. I'm ready for it. Shoot me your best shot. No worries. For context, I was in that store for a little over an hour, okay? And 45 to 50 minutes was a complete waste of time. Basically, because we have free healthcare, this sales rep thought it would be more beneficial to talk about the products that are covered by our RAMQ card. So naturally, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, he may be recommending some product that are covered by the RAMQ card, and I may not have to pay anything at the end of this transaction. Now, just a side note here, my doctor already gave me a range and expectations of how much this equipment should cost me, like a ballpark. So the sales rep kept talking and talking to ultimately tell me that they don't carry the ones covered by my RAMQ card, and the only option is to pay for these equipments. He then proceeded to show me the two options that would be the best and closest thing to what my doctor has recommended or has prescribed, I should say. Now, as a salesperson, and if you're in sales, like, you should always know the customer in front of you, okay? Like, you should have already known and understood that as soon as I walked in with a prescription, I'm already a customer. I'm already kind of sold. I mean, my doctor already did 3/4 of the work of the sales rep by letting me know the approximate, price range and expectations of what I should pay or for this cast or not. Like, I already have that information. So the fact that he discredited the doctor's recommendation was an automatic red flag. Secondly, I'm now getting upset. Like, put yourself in my shoes. I'm already upset with my situation, okay? I'm in pain. My knee's hurting. My ankle's hurting. I'm there in my crutches, okay? Standing there. And you waste 45 to 50 minutes of my time explaining basically nothing to later find out at the end that I have to pay for something. It's not a problem. I claimed it with my insurance company and got my money back. Thank God for private insurance. But the point is, I was just upset that this time could have been a lot more productive had I been home doing something else. So this is the overselling part, right? He basically tried to talk me out of the RAMQ covered products to ultimately sell me his products that are available in the store. Again, my point is, I'm already a customer. And either way, whether I have to pay or not, I have to present a card, either my RAMQ card or my credit card. Just study and know your damn customers who are walking in your store or are in front of you. I've been in sales for almost 3 decades. I've done and sold all kinds of things, almost everything you could think of in the books, okay? I started my sales career in telemarketing, on the phone, cold calling customers day in, day out, okay? I've sold paper rolls, business supplies, business directories, websites, car sales, car rentals, printers, office supplies, life insurance, investments, you name it. I've practically done it all. And I've also trained hundreds, if not thousands, of sales agents as well. And over time, with all the experiences that I've acquired and watching my peers and learning from my mentors, there's one crucial thing I've observed, and that is sales is always evolving. I mean, you probably know this, and the fundamentals of sales with whatever you sell are pretty much the same. But the sales process is constantly evolving. And now the sales process has changed drastically. Unfortunately, many salespeople are still using old methods that expired many years ago. What we have to be conscious about now is that time has changed, especially in 2023. No one really has more than 5 minutes to listen to your script, okay? Even 5 minutes, it's too long. 10 seconds in, you have to grab your prospect's attention. You have to be likable within the first 20 to 30 seconds and hope to land an appointment after you've done your elevator pitch within a minute if you're lucky. If not, you're out the door. 15, 20 years ago, people had time to listen to your pitch. You could have spent 10, 20, 30 minutes to an hour on the phone trying to OCC, on call close, and getting those one-shot deals boiler room style, okay? But today, things are a lot different from what they used to be 15 years ago. And the reasons are very simple. Everything now is more fast-paced. Technology has advanced so much. On top of that, our attention span is a lot shorter. And as a result, people have a lot less time to spend on the phone or face-to-face for a long-ass pitch, especially when you work in the B2B, business-to-business side of sales, and your main prospects, and you're predominantly working with C-level executives like CEOs, CFOs, CMOs, COOs. These people don't have time. They just don't, okay? You better learn to get straight to the point real fast. It's really important to study your customers and be quick at analyzing the situation in any given scenario. Now, I'm not saying that I was a CEO walking into the store, which technically I am, but not in this case. But the point is, this salesperson should have known that I'm already sold. Either way, I will need to walk out of there with a product, whether it's free or not. There was no point to oversell me on his product. In a situation like this, he could have just said something along the lines of, hey, just wanted to let you know that the product your doctor recommended, we unfortunately don't carry them here. And quite frankly, most stores and clinics probably won't either. I just want to let you know that some casts and some equipments are covered by the RAMQ, but unfortunately, the ones we carry are not. I can show you some options that are the closest to these recommendations. Would you like to see them? At this point, it would have given me a choice to proceed or not, and it would have saved a good 30 to 40 minutes of both of our valuable times. But instead, he decided to go the old school route, and for that, I'll give him a D-. Now comes the upselling part. Now already he can see the discomfort and the frustration on my face, okay? And when he proceeded to show me the two casts, one of a lower grade and the other one a little upgraded feature, which I don't regret, by the way. The higher grade basically just has one extra feature with a pump. Now, if you want to hear funny, here it is. Now, as I mentioned to you earlier, my doctor already gave me a ballpark, and that's, an approximate range of how much this would cost. Now, the two items he showed me, the lowest grade of the two was already a little over $100 from what the doctor told me. So obviously you can tell, that the one with that extra feature was more expensive, right? This part honestly went a little better. I think he did a good job in explaining the differences between both and ultimately led me to buy the higher grade product. I mean, it didn't take much effort. Though I wasn't happy with the overall experience, I had no choice but to get a cast. I mean, I could have gone to another clinic, but quite frankly, I didn't really have the patience, the time, and realistically, nor the energy to shop around. I needed it right then and there. But in many cases, this could have gone, this could have been a lost sale, right? I mean, training many agents in my lifetime, one common mistake I see most, I'd say maybe 90% of salespeople making, is trying to avoid or beat around the bush when it comes to customers asking the famous how much is it or the price question. It's simple. Just give them what they're asking for. If you have a product or a service or package with different rates, just let them know. Hey, obviously, it really depends on what you are looking for, but our packages, product, or services ranges from X price to Y price or X rate to Y rate. And my goal is to obviously find out a little bit more about you, find out what your needs are, find out what you are trying to accomplish and looking to get out of it, and then ultimately recommend the best suited solution for you. And you can feel free to do whatever you want with that information. And I personally like to use that last sentence that I just used. You can feel free to do whatever you want with that information. And, I train all my teammates to use the same approach simply because it's a good way to get your customers to put their guards down. One of the reasons why most customers hate most salespeople is because most salespeople, again, I'd say 90% of them, come out to be sleazy, pushy, shark-like. Like as soon as they see a customer, they get hungry and fight with one another to see who's gonna bite first. And trust me, guys, customers know this. You may think that they're dumb and ignorant, but savvy customers, they know every single trick in the books. It's so bad to the point that even when you go shopping for clothes, trying to buy a shirt or a suit, pants, jeans, and a sales clerk approaches you asking you if you need help, most people just look at them and say, no, we're all right, we're just looking. Simply because customers despise salespeople, and they know that most of the time, these salespeople will just waste the customer's time and try to sell them things they don't really need. What's funny is that these sales clerks that are working for retail stores are the least of the hungry shark-like sales rep, and even they get a bad rep. From every sales books and sales training that you've learned, they've always talked about the same thing, but I think we are fundamentally missing few points here, and we're not applying it to the max. A, being extremely genuine. B, be human. Bring your own personal touch. C, start listening to your customers and stop trying to think of how you will overcome the next objection. And I understand the fundamentals of sales are the same across the board. And I also know many sales gurus on this platform will disagree with this because their job is to sell you a course on how to overcome objections. And all you'll do is overcome objections and keep overcoming objections and try to master overcoming objections until you get 350 no's. And what you're really doing is hurting yourself and potentially losing a long-term customer for a short-term return. This honestly hurts companies a lot. They lose valuable customers, unfortunately, due to these practices. So this old school method doesn't work anymore. Just get to the point, answer the questions, and ask for a follow-up. Stop overselling. Stop trying to upsell on your first prospecting call. Stop looking desperate. I know you have to sell the value, but before you do that, you got to sell yourself first. And the only way you can really do that is by being likable. You heard this a million times. And genuine. You heard this a gazillion times. And answering to the customer's questions, which is maybe a new concept in today's day and age. So in this scenario, I'll give the sales rep maybe a B+. Another major mistake I see many salespeople making is failing to do post-sales follow-up. When it's time to make your first initial sale, they are your best friend. Another reason why customers hate sales rep. They pretend to be your best friend. They'll offer you the world. And all that, guys, is absolute bullshit, okay? It's total BS. But it's not their fault. This is how most of them were trained. They don't have that human approach. They're just putting in practice whatever they learned in their sales training and or by reading the books that they didn't really interpret properly. Now, don't get me wrong, reading books is good. All this is good. It's necessary and needed, okay? Don't get me wrong, but I think most salespeople are missing the true message behind it and the point of having that human touch in your presentation, okay? They fail to treat customers the way they would like to be treated. You gotta sell yourself. You sell yourself, not what you've learned, okay? You gotta be likable for the millionth time. You really gotta become your customer's friend if you wanna build a long-term partnership with them. You have to do courtesy follow-ups. Like I'll give you an example of how I do it, okay? After I sell my product or service, or even in, my coaching service that I offer, okay? When I deal with my customers, I offer them a choice. You want an hour session? I have 2-hour sessions. I have group sessions. You could buy a weekly or monthly package. This is the price, whatever you feel comfortable with, choose, right? I don't try and tell them, oh, maybe you should take a 2-hour session or the weekly session if they are more comfortable with the 1-hour session. Depending on the customer's trust in me, if I feel like they're not feeling me that much, I'll even offer them a group session or recommend them a group session just because it's cheaper. And all my coaching comes with a complimentary 30-minute phone call so customers can ask their questions and set their expectations. And what that does is allows me to also set mine. And to add to that, if I ever feel that I won't be the right fit, I'll tell them very politely that I may not be the best fit for what you're looking for because my coaching is based on their willingness to work on themselves and being able and ready to hear harsh and raw facts and truths about themselves. And they can do whatever they want with that information. Sounds familiar? All this to say, let's say after a client takes an hour session with me, okay, I'll send them a courtesy email in 2 weeks just to get some feedback and see how they are progressing, if they got any results, seeking feedback to better myself. Okay, that's my first email. I'll send them another one maybe 2 or 3 weeks later just to check up on them once again and maybe send them a free nugget to help them boost whatever they want to boost, maybe their sales or their volume, whatever the case may be, right? Send them some free information here and there. Let them know that if they have any questions or requires industry knowledge, for example, or need a quick fix or solution to something or need a quick advice on anything, they can always feel free and not shy away from calling me or emailing me, okay? I'm your guy. It's not a one-shot deal with me, okay? Once I've built enough trust and become friends with my customer, and say I wanted to introduce a new service that can be a good addition to what they have or what will enhance their business, product, or service, I'll quickly send them an email and let them know, hey, simply reaching out, wanted to let you know that I now have a new service that can help you do so and so. And I think this can really help with what we've been working on so far. I'd love to share it over a 10-15 minute phone call or Zoom call or 10-15 minute coffee, and you do whatever you want with that information. Again, sounds familiar? Unfortunately, most salespeople don't invest their time in these small details anymore and are missing out on so many potential long-term customers. It's not even funny. Look, when you are genuinely likable and you become their friends without wanting to benefit financially from them on every single phone call or every email, the sales process is quite frankly a lot easier, a lot fun, and just pleasant. People like doing business with people they trust and can call a friend. Anyways, that was my rant, but all this to say, because of my overall experience with this clinic or store, I will never go back there again, and hopefully, knock on wood, I won't have to in the near future. I just hope I don't break another leg or something else in my body. Nor will I ever recommend my friends and family to this place. Though he seemed like an experienced salesperson, unfortunately, he didn't have the skill set to understand and study the customers in front of him. Okay? He's more interested in talking rather than listening. So my overall rating is a C-. That said, if you got value from this video, please show it by subscribing to the channel. And as you probably already know, platforms like YouTube don't really push out small creators channel like mine to the masses unless there's some kind of engagement, okay? So whether you liked or disliked it, show your feelings by hitting the thumbs up or the thumbs down button below. Leave me a comment on how you would have approached this particular situation with the sales rep. And if you know anyone in sales or thinking of going into sales and, may get value from the information that I just shared, do me a favor and share this video with them. Let's get this channel to 1,000 followers and keep spreading knowledge and wisdom. One last request before I end this. I promise this is the last one. I've recently created a new channel called The Red Pill React. And in that channel, I mainly focus on the manosphere space, some mostly controversial topics, content, about masculinity, modern day feminism, modern day dating, and all that good stuff basically, okay? Now, I'm a huge advocate for men's mental health and especially single fathers. I think men need more space where they can go and vent and, express their frustrations. Now, I will be mostly reacting to other people's content, but if you like that kind of stuff, please do subscribe to that channel as well. Follow me on Rumble, okay? And all my social media like Instagram, TikTok, I put all the links, every single one of them, in the description below. So just go ahead and show me some love and follow and subscribe. And remember, guys, the motto here is simple. Dream big, dream huge, dream unreasonably, and never let anyone convince you otherwise. Make sure you live life like royalty. And until the next video, be good.